Hello and welcome to Boxing from Eurosport. This is Bar de Vincennes near Paris, and you're looking at European heavyweight champion Jean-Maurice Chanet, defending the title here against Britain's Derek Williams. Well, a very boisterous atmosphere indeed inside this arena. It's a rematch between those two. Chanet winning the first fight, a controversial fight, on points. Williams claiming afterwards that he'd been drugged. Well, there's Williams' statistics. 25 years of age, 16 wins and 3 defeats with 11 knockouts. And he would fancy himself to get the job right this time. He'll be wearing the red shorts. Derek Sweet D Williams, as he calls himself, from London. And Chanet, the champion, who didn't start as a professional boxer until after the age of 30. He's 35 now, 119, lost 10. It's an ordinary record for a champion. The man who sells carpets and candy floss when he's not boxing. So the two boxers being called out into the center of the ring for their final instructions. There's Williams there. And last time he came over to fight near Paris against Chanet, the fight ending in vast amounts of controversy. Chanet the winner, but Williams saying that in some way he'd been doped because he was complaining of lethargy. They had to take him to hospital. He was given oxygen in the dressing room, and it was all very, very mysterious. The upshot was that Chanet there was the champion. And this is the rematch, really, as a result of all the, well, mud sticking over those allegations, I guess you could call it. And Chanet getting in with quite a good left there straight away at the start of the contest. And a nice body shot as well from Chanet early on. There was some talk that Chanet might be put in against George Foreman. Well, that never happened, and probably just as well for Chanet that it didn't. If I'm honest with you, he's not regarded as one of Europe's most talented boxers, this fellow, but he does have bags and bags and bags of courage. Williams boxing behind that jab early on, looks much the bigger man. Chanet giving away quite a bit of weight here. But the Frenchman very much with home advantage. There's very vociferous fans indeed. Indeed, the atmosphere around the arena is not altogether harmonious. Williams has brought a few fans over from London as well. Williams getting in with a little right to the body on that occasion. Chanet there, drawing the applause of the crowd as he digs in with a right to the body and then follows it up with that left to the head. First fight was at a place called Saint-Dizier, another suburb of Paris. And as I've been explaining to you, it really did turn out to be boxing's equivalent of a Dick Francis novel. Never any proof found that Williams was drugged or anything like that, despite the claims of his manager, Mike Barrett. In any event, he has the record, or the chance I should say, to put the record straight right here. Well, wild, unscientific punches from Chanet. Landed with a few of them, but Williams getting in with that right of his own. Frenchman with this reach disadvantage, but he's landed plenty in this opening round. His punches coming from crazy, unexpected angles and rather taking Williams by surprise. French crowd enjoyed that first round, and I think Chanet did enough to take it. There is Chanet. Only 29 fights at the age of 35, and that's because he didn't turn pro until very, very late. He was a French amateur champion before he turned professional. Works in the fairgrounds, and he says his ambition is to raise enough money so he can buy a roundabout and run one of those. Action from that first round, the body shot, then the left hook from Chanet. Hint of the inside of the glove, I'd have to say, about all of those punches. Don't know if the judges noticed that, though. So round two coming up. It's due to go 12, remember, for the European heavyweight title. A title which in the past has been held by some pretty distinguished names like Bruce Woodcock, Ingemar Johansson, Carl Mildenberger, Dick Richardson, Henry Cooper, Joe Buckner, Alfredo Evangelista, even Frank Bruno. The only title that Frank did win in part one of his career. Will he make a comeback? That's quite another story, of course. If he did, maybe this man Williams would be one of those who'd be on his shopping list. Williams scored again there. And every punch being greeted by this partisan crowd like a cup final goal. Every punch by Chanet, that is. That's better from Williams. But then back comes Chanet with his own body shots. What Williams needs to be doing, boxing behind that jab of his, pumping it out, using his reach advantage, but he's getting caught quite a bit with body shots from the champion. The science is not so sweet as practiced by Chanet. He's not the cleanest, most authoritative, snappy puncher you've ever seen. And you won't find many of his kind of blows in the boxing textbooks, but somehow, by hook or crook, he's found himself European heavyweight champion. And more than holding his own in the moment with Derek Williams, the Londoner. End of the second round, and again not a bad one for Chanet. Rather subdued Derek Williams so far. So 2 rounds gone, and at the moment Williams just hasn't got into gear. There's Chanet. They must be quite pleased with his work so far. He's slugged away to the body with wide-angled shots, and he might be mildly surprised that Williams at the moment is taking most of them. He seems to be having his successes with those punches. 35 years old, well, it's getting on to be a professional boxer somewhere near the top. Although the likes of Jersey Joe Walcott and Archie Moore might tell you differently. Not to mention George Foreman. Third round then. Chanet out of range really with those shots, but having a success inside there with that right uppercut. Just listen to this crowd getting behind Chanet. Williams will certainly know that he's not fighting at Wandsworth. Very, very difficult to challenge for a title away from home in Europe. Williams again letting the smaller man bull him up against the ropes and slug away with those body shots. A tentative look about a lot of Williams' work. No real timing in his punches. He's been given this chance of revenge. The camp claim they were drugged the first time. They've got the rematch when others were in line. So far, Williams not really taking advantage of it. Manfred Jasmin, the German, and Gary Mason were projected opponents for Chanet. Both of those fights fell through, as did the Foreman one. So Williams got his chance again to win back the title. Williams, the younger man by 10 years here at 25. Now that punch, that right, the crowd cheered it. It actually landed on the gloves from Chanet. The people at the back of the hall, of course, can't see that. They don't have the advantage you've got of this camera, which is almost in the ring. Chanet's had his problems with cuts in the past. Indeed, in their first fight, Williams cut him in the first round with a slashing right-hand punch. And he's cut up before, and his face is looking a little bit marked, I must say now. Not that Williams has landed too much, other than his left jab. There it is again. Chanet gets him with a left hook at the end of the round. Rejoin us in just a moment. Welcome back to boxing on Eurosport. The scene, Bar de Vincennes near Paris. European Heavyweight Championship fight. Chanet, Jean Chanet in the blue shorts there, defending the title against Britain's Derek Williams. So far, Chanet just getting the better of things a little. Again, those clubbing roundhouse punches from Chanet, but he's having his success with them. I have to say, it's not the classiest European heavyweight title fight you'll ever see. A good atmosphere in this arena, the crowd really getting behind Chanet. He must almost feel as if he's got a couple of hundred in the ring with him. His every blow being cheered to the echo. I think there's quite a bit of bad feeling too among this French crowd here against Williams. I don't think they much liked the drug allegations that were made after the first fight, and I think they want to see Williams firmly put in his place this time. Right uppercut from Chanet, then the body shot. And Williams just not letting any punches go, not really letting them go himself, and looking a shade ragged in his defence as well. It's not an impressive performance or challenge, this, from the British boxer. Caught again there. Don't know whether he's intimidated by this hostile crowd or what it is. But at the moment, it has to be said, he doesn't look as if he's got the greatest appetite for the job. Plans spoken about for Williams. They were hoping to push him up the world rankings, but well, they'll need to step up quite a bit on these kind of performances. 4 rounds gone, and the Frenchman on my scorecard definitely on top so far. Let's have a listen in now to see what's going on in the 2 corners. There's the Williams corner. I don't think we can hear too much there. Mike Barrett was there, didn't look too pleased, did he? There's Chanet. They must be reasonably pleased with the way it's gone so far. You see him absolutely bathed in sweat there from his exertions. Action again from that last round. Williams with the jab, then that body shot looked a little bit low. The wild-looking left from Chanet, and then that roundhouse right, typical of him, but thudding into the rib cage, and there again. And those are punches that would just sap the strength of Williams a little bit. Not bad tactics from Chanet to go to the body. Much the smaller man. That's better from Williams. Again, that right crunching into the ribs from Chanet. Had a lot of success with that. Chanet's got quite a big gypsy following at ringside. Extraordinary fight so far, because Williams is so much the bigger man. He has the better reach, he looks the more correct puncher. Chanet looks wild, he doesn't really look organized, but somehow he's winning this fight on points, and questions have to be asked about Williams's performance that can be so. Chanet with a very ordinary up and down record as well. He lost to Jess Harding, who was regarded as quite a promising British heavyweight until he was absolutely destroyed by Gary Mason. And Chanet, if he was real European Championship quality, should not have been losing to relatively inexperienced fighters like Harding at that stage of his career. He also lost to the good South African cruiserweight Cesar Makatini, who we've seen in this country in world title action. Bit of a grudge fight this between the two of them after what happened the first time. Haven't been too many French European heavyweight champions. Lucien Rodriguez was one I seem to remember, and going back a long, long way, the great Georges Carpentier. Chanet scoring again at the end of the round there, and wants to continue the action after the bell as well. But it was another good round for the Frenchman, and Williams continues to be a massive disappointment. Calls himself Sweet D, nothing sweet about it. There's Chanet. Urgent words of encouragement from the cornermen. Hope you've got your French dictionary handy. There's action again. Now Williams did score with that right, made Chanet miss for once with the roundhouse right aimed at the body. Referee Mr. Carrasco pushing the cornermen out of the ring. Get out of the ring, he says. Time for the bell, time to resume the action. 6th round. Chanet ahead so far, scores with the left hook. And the jab. Purely a personal view, this, but I think you'd have to say that really any class fighter didn't ought to have too many problems with a fellow like Jean Chanet. Certainly nothing very sophisticated about him, but he's winning. And he catches Williams again there. Left hook thrown wide from the crazy angle. Almost bull-like, these charges by Chanet. He almost puts his head down and wades away like that. And Williams, so far, has been a sucker for it all. Well, I'm sure that Williams's corner must have told him round after round after round to start sticking out that jab, start throwing some combinations and start to take the initiative a little bit in this fight, but he seems to be laying back and letting Chanet make all the plays. Even though he's outreached, he's scoring with the jab as well now, Chanet. I mentioned Jess Harding, who Chanet lost to. Williams beat him. He's also beaten John Westgarth a couple of times. He knocked out Dave Garside, who challenged for the World Cruiserweight title. He was Commonwealth champion, Williams, knocking out young Halmona from Tonga in the 4th round at the Royal Albert Hall in London. He knocked out Noel Corliss in the 1st round. All good wins, those. Huroy Curry in the 1st, as I was telling you, to win the European heavyweight title. Against that, there have been some setbacks, like a defeat against Mark Wills on his American debut. But this is a vital fight for Derek Williams. A bit of a crossroads fight for him, really. He might have not many places to go if he loses this one, and he's losing it at the moment. Chanet on top, 6 rounds gone, 6 to go. Rejoin us after the break. Welcome back to Super Bouts on Eurosport. Jean Chanet here, defending the European heavyweight title against Britain's Derek Williams. And Williams in a very disappointing performance so far in this rematch between these two. Chanet ahead on my scorecard, and I would think on the scorecards of the 3 judges as well. They're the ones that count, of course. 7th round. Being charitable to Williams, you could say that maybe his game plan is to come on strong in the later stages when the older man might be starting to tire, but that really is a charitable opinion, I think, because Williams has done very, very little of any consequence at all in this contest so far. Williams, who represented the Wandsworth Amateur Boys Club, Amateur Boxing Club in London. Same club that produced Gary Mason. Well, again, Chanet being allowed to dictate. He's as strong as an ox, this Frenchman. And even when he's missing, Williams is not countering, firing punches that are being left. There's a gaps left when a puncher misses like that. And Williams really ought to be counter-punching, but he isn't. Not very effectively anyway. Caught again by the right this time, Williams. There's a fair right uppercut from Williams. That was a bit better from him. Chanet looking very ragged indeed in this round. Missing a lot. Just a shade arm weary. And in this round, Williams just starting to parry some of those rather telegraphed punches as well. Bell goes to end the round. That was a better round for Williams, and my goodness me, he needed one. Let's go into Derek Williams' corner.
Okay, 3D, do you want, you're waiting on the guy every time. The guy can afford to throw a punch and rest. You're not attacking the guy unless the guy, if the guy don't hit you.
You're going home a loser. You're going home a loser.
Do you want to strike him? No excuse, Derek. Come on. No excuse. You haven't got anything in front of you, Derek.
Well, that seems like organised chaos, doesn't it? Really, all around there. You've got fans shouting at him from the corner. Two people talking.
Stand up, you look like a dead man, Joe. Come on, go and do some work.
You can't get the right. What about the right hand? If you can't get the job right, what about the right hand?
Well, you heard them saying to him there, you look like a dead man, get out there and do some work. They're absolutely furious with Derek Williams in the corner there. I'm not surprised either. Very lethargic performance from him, and a very disappointing one too. He's got quite a few supporters there in the corner as well. This is the 8th round. And Chanet benefiting from those minute rests and looking quite fresh again at the start of the round. Again, that right to the body. You wonder how many more times Chanet has to throw that punch before Williams wises up to it. There it is again. Extraordinary fight, this. But there's no doubt about it, Williams now has to wake up, has to do something dramatic to try and turn this around, because this is not the kind of performance you come up with, especially away from home, if you want to take a title. That's a good uppercut there from Williams inside. Chanet just wanting to hold on and looking a little bemused for a moment. Now this is better from Williams. Just sensing for a moment there he had a half chance, but look, Chanet seems to be over it and still wants to come forward. No doubting the courage of this champion from France. There's that uppercut again from Williams. Nice punch inside. Just the hint of a bit of blood underneath the right eye of Chanet. Nothing for him to worry about at all, though. And again, he thumps home those body shots as Williams, perhaps unwisely, lays on those ropes on the far side. Four rounds to go after this one. Williams had that little spurt early in the round, but he hasn't really built on that. End of the round. And Chanet probably came back well enough later in the round to get a share of that one as well. Sweat-soaked body of the European heavyweight champion, Chanet. Now, let's have a look again at this action. There's that right uppercut inside I mentioned. Now, Chanet was just shaken up a little bit by that. He seemed to want to hold on for a moment. He got caught by a left. Williams here had a half chance to really get him going, but never really built on that. And Chanet came back quite well in the later stages of the round. Ninth round coming up then, and I'll be telling Chanet that, well, just keep this up, stay out of trouble, you're probably well ahead on points. Williams' corner telling him that something quite dramatic is needed. You heard the message in the previous round, you're going home a loser. Check on the colours. Williams is holding Chanet around the back of the head. Wild shot from Chanet. Missed by a mile with it, but no sign of the counter from Derek Williams. Strange performance this from the former champion Williams against the current champion Chanet. Williams again laying on those ropes and taking body shots that must be weakening him, I would think by now. He's taken enough of them. Chance of Maurice. That is Chanet's second name. He's Jean-Maurice Chanet. That's a good shot from Williams. That was better. Sent the sweat spraying from the head of the champion. Good work from Chanet, though. Well, still no real initiative at all from Derek Williams by way of getting back into this fight. Ninth round, and on my scorecard, Chanet is on the way to taking this one as well. End of the round, closing stage of this European heavyweight title fight in a moment.
front of you. Don't make any excuse, Eric.
No.
Welcome back to Super Bouts.
All down to bad boxing, this is.
There's the Derek Williams corner. He's behind at the moment, the challenger, going for Jean-Maurice Chanet's European heavyweight title.
The guy every time. Just go out and swing punches. Even if it doesn't seem. Just throw punches. This guy can't stop you. Right? You're looking like a little queer out there. You do the way I reach.
Wake up. Okay. You're not all right.
All right. Oh, for Christ's sake, get away.
Take that away. Take it away.
Derek.
Well, the frustrations showing in the corner.
Get it out.
They're not happy, are they? Not happy at all. There's the Chanet corner. Chanet definitely ahead at the moment. And the home fans could be celebrating a victory here. Williams, in plain language, needs to wake up. Just to recap that story again, that in the first meeting between these two in February, Chanet won, and Williams' cornermen and camp claiming that he'd been drugged. Certainly something very odd. There was never any proof of it. And the rematch has come about. Well, this time I think all I could say is that if Williams is on drugs in this one, they ought to be suing the drug company. Crowd right behind Chanet. A 35-year-old who has to earn his victory and his monies on courage alone. Because, as I'm sure you're seeing here, he's not the most stylish or sophisticated of fighters. Head down and wings away with those hooks to the body, and in this fight it's working for him. I have to say though, it's hard to imagine those kind of tactics paying off with any of the top 10 ranked heavyweights in the world. Chanet looking a little reddened and swollen around the face. He's had cuts problems before, as I explained, but it's getting late in the contest, I think, for any cut that might develop to be much of a factor. There's certainly nothing above the eyes, and that's the real problem for boxers, when the blood comes out of cuts above the eyes and obscures the vision. He's a leathery, teak-tough old customer, isn't he, Chanet? There he goes, charging in again, throwing in those body shots. And I think Williams is going to have some very sore ribs when he wakes up tomorrow morning. That bell, I'm surprised the fighters can hear it. It's not the most effective bell I've ever heard at ringside. Williams goes back to the corner and with an almost resigned look about him, collapses into the corner. Nothing wrong with Chanet's performance at all. He's fought really to the utmost of his abilities. Probably a fighter who knows his limitations, but he's reached down deep. And unless something dramatic happens in the last couple of the rounds here, he looks to be on his way to a successful defense against the man he took this title from. The old carpet and candy floss business could be going pretty well tomorrow for Chanet if he gets some good headlines in the French newspapers, if he can hold on to this victory. might win enough to win that by that roundabout after all. Jab going out from Williams, but even his jab doesn't really have a kind of ramrod look about it. It looks a token sort of jab, just a rangefinder for some heavier artillery, but the heavy artillery never arrives, it's never thrown. Referee having a cautionary word with both boxers there about something that happened inside, but good body punches again there from Chanet, forcing Williams back onto the ropes. Some of the supporters at ringside now off their seats. Got to be truthful with you, it's not a great fight this, it's not going to go down as one of the all-time classics of European boxing, that's for sure. But it's not without its interest. Chanet there, winging away with another left hook. They often say the best punchers in boxing only travel a very short distance. Now the referee's going to have a word here, and Chanet is having a point deducted. It's not entirely clear, I must say immediately to me, what that was for. Now it was something I think that happened inside in that clinch on the far side, but the champion has 1 point deducted. He can probably afford it. I would have him quite a long way ahead on points at the moment. Chanet there, the crowd on their feet at the back, and 1 or 2 at the front as well as he thumped home that big right to the body. And Williams at this point is looking a tired, dispirited and disorganized fighter. Again, he's bulled up against the ropes by Chanet. Nothing in Williams' punches at all. What a curious performance this is from the challenger. There goes the bell to end the round, and although Chanet had the point deducted there, he would have certainly won the round but for that points deduction, so it was probably scored even on the judges' scorecard. I must say I wasn't entirely clear about why that point was deducted, but something inside. Might have a little cut inside his mouth, he's biting away on the sponge. Let's just take a little look back and see if we can make it any clearer for you what actually happened inside. Now Chanet is holding there, he's holding round the waist. Heads are coming pretty close together as well at this point. Now, what is going? Now, is Chanet? There was almost a hint there that he might have gouged away with his head. Referee wasn't happy about it, and in any event, Chanet had a point deducted. He's certainly a rough, tough customer. 29 fights in the ring, and probably a few more outside as well in the fairground booths and what have you. 12th round coming up for Chanet, the European champion, in the blue trunks, and Derek not so sweet D Williams in the red. Chanet really just needs to stay out of trouble, I reckon, in this round to hold on to his title. There's no doubt about it. Williams needs a knockout punch. He's got one. He hasn't looked like producing it in this contest. Crowd getting pretty excited over on the far side, and things getting a little bit out of hand. And I'm afraid these are the kind of scenes we do not want. We now have fisticuffs going on between some of the French and British supporters of Williams who were in that corner. Chairs being hurled around. Now look at this. These are the kind of scenes that are an absolute disgrace, of course. Boxing definitely doesn't need this. Chairs being hurled at the British supporters. And this is an absolute disgrace. Well, the fight's been held up, of course it has. I don't know what started all of that. So, oh, look at those chairs being hurled, and this is a very, very dangerous scene indeed. Now, people are going to get hurt there. And we've got the whole crowd joining in. The fight had a controversial background with that allegation of Williams being drugged in the first fight, and there have been bad feeling between the two camps. And look at that, he's been hit by a chair, and one must pray that nobody has been seriously hurt in that absolute mayhem and madness at ringside. Lunatic scenes, stupid. People in the ring. Now Williams and Chanet getting together, and they're saying, look, we're mates, we might be having a fight in there for a title, but it's about money and belts, and there's mutual respect between the fighters. Now that's good to see. That's a sensible example to show to the crowd, and things do seem to be calming down a bit, but my goodness me, absolute idiocy. Now what happened on this far side, there's certainly some of the British supporters have been standing up in that corner and obscuring the vision of some of the French fans. Atmosphere's been getting worse as the fight's been going on, and somewhere in there somebody threw a punch rather stupidly, and look at this, this is the result. Everybody's piling in, and well, no sport wants scenes like this. Now, are they going to continue with the contest here? What's going to happen? Only a couple of minutes to go. We're in the last round. Promoters are Louis and Michel Acaris, and European boxing officials being consulted. The trouble has died down again.
Bring it back, Joe. You don't bring it back.
Scorecards being returned to the judges. So, well, these are frightening scenes, really. Brings back memories to me of Marvin Hagler and Alan Minter fight at Wembley back in 1980, when we had bottles thrown by some idiots in the crowd when Hagler took the title in quite splendid fashion. No need for anybody to do anything silly, but they did. And, well, boxing does not need fans like that. Whoever was responsible, and it was impossible to tell. And the fight's been restarted with a couple of minutes to go on our watches. But those events, I'm afraid, have overshadowed everything. Not been a very distinguished fight. Terrible performance, frankly, from Derek Williams. Maybe now all of this has woken him up, and he's starting to throw some punches in anger. Now we're going to have Williams falling out of the ring, are we? He nearly did. Horrible scenes, as one wag sitting beside me has just said, well, it was a better fight out of the ring than the one in it. Might have a point as well. Shouldn't really joke about it, though. Good body shot again in there from Chanet, though. Piles in, head down, and those tactics, unsophisticated though they may be, have been quite enough here to account for Williams, who's now having a lace by the glove just being tucked back in again. That can be dangerous. It can fly into a fighter's eye as punches are being thrown. But this has been a do-nothing, lazy, lethargic performance from Derek Williams. Doesn't seem to have any energy about him. And even in this round, he's tried to step up the gear a little at long last, but it's too little and far too late by the look of it. He's got 15 seconds. And again, that glove coming loose. Mayhem outside of the ring. goodness, that's all died down now. That's not a bad punch there from Williams. And there goes the bell to end it. And the crowd, well, I don't know why Williams is raising his hands like that. That can only be sheer bravado. Maybe he thought he won the last round. If he did, it was about the only one he did win. Let's have a look again here at the punches. It's not a bad right cross from Williams there. Now he's starting to throw some punches. Chanet comes piling in. He'll still come forward. And as he leans on here, this strong veteran Frenchman, Williams almost falls backwards out of the ring. We're getting the decision now. Chanet, not surprisingly, getting the vote of the first of the judges. That's it, he's retained the title. Well, Chanet, a unanimous and clear winner with all three judges, and Williams cannot have any complaint about that at all. The whole thing rather overshadowed by those disgraceful scenes outside of the ring in the last round. But Chanet is still the champion. Now tomorrow on Eurosport, an exclusive, the British debut of that remarkable 42-year-old George Foreman up against Terry Anderson. Join us for that live only on Eurosport. For now, goodbye.